The Case of the Secret Silver by Day Williams. Chapter 1. Jake and Jennifer's mouths gaped open. "That's an incredible tea set," Jennifer said to the attendant. Jennifer had blue eyes, long blonde hair, and stood half a head taller than Jake, who wore his black hair close cropped. "Crafted by Tiffany and Company," he said. A university graduate student, he guided these tours to earn his tuition. Jake's dad and Jennifer's mom made a cozy couple. As usual, their parents were holding hands and talking to each other in a corner. Ever since they had married 3 months ago, they had not taken their eyes off each other, or so it seemed. Most of the time, Jake and Jennifer were left to fend for themselves. "Look how intricate the design is on the teaspoon," said Jake, "with flowers on it and portraits." "A world-renowned silver craftsman worked on each of these," said the grad student. "He was from Tiffany and Company, and he used Comstock silver. John Mackey was the Silver King, one of the richest men in the world. He made his money in the belly of the beast, the Comstock lode in the big bonanza. He could afford the best craftsman in the world. It's said that he gave away $5 million during his lifetime." "I'll be rich too," said Jake. "I'm going to be a movie star." "Can you open the case for us to get a closer look at the tea set?" Jennifer asked. "I want to take a picture without a reflection from the cover glass." She raised her instant shoot camera to her eyes. "I'm not supposed to do that," said the grad student. He stroked his goatee, looking somber. "Please," whined Jennifer, turning her big blue eyes on him. She could be persuasive when she wanted. At home, she got her way more often than not. Their parents still cuddled and cooed in the corner. "Just this once," said the grad student. He pulled out a key, unlocked the case, and propped open the top. "It smells musty," said Jennifer, "like my grandma's boots up in her attic. How come?" "A week ago, a curator found this silver set in a crate way back in a warehouse. We haven't even had time to inspect and polish the items. The director said to set it out anyway so the public could view it." "Take your picture quickly," he continued. "I could get in trouble if they see that the case is open." As Jennifer raised her camera to her eye, their parents brushed against the painting on the wall, an oil painting of the St. Mary's Church in Virginia City. "Please, sir, ma'am, don't touch the painting," said the grad student. While the grad student was busy with the parents and the painting, Jennifer snapped her picture. She noticed something white inside a silver teacup, pulled it out, and stuck it in her pocket. "What was that?" Jake asked. "Shush," she whispered, her finger to her lips. "It's a clue." "You and your stupid clues," said Jake. "Did you take a good picture?" asked the grad student. "Perfect," said Jennifer. "Thank you for your help." She smiled at him, her pink braces glinting in the light. "Ah," said Jake, "stop flirting with that flake. Let's get out of here. I need something to eat." Chapter 2. "I wasn't flirting with him," said Jennifer on the ride back home. "I was distracting him, as a good detective will do when she needs to. Besides, he's too old for me." "You distracted him all right," said Jake. "What did you find?" "This," she said. She pulled a scrap of paper from her pocket and showed it to him. He studied it and handed it back to her. "It's only a couple numbers." "It's more than that," said Jennifer. "You'll never make detective. It's a clue. It has a name on it, too." "Let me see that again," Jake said as he snatched it back. "It says Twain 2294851. Big deal. It could mean anything." "It's a clue, and I'm going to figure it out," said Jennifer. "My detective instincts tell me it's a code." "Maybe it's somebody's phone number," said Jake. "Mark Twain was a writer who lived the same time as John Mackey. He wrote Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. I think it has something to do with Mark Twain. You figure it out, said Jake. I'm going outside to ride my skateboard. Jennifer, her mother said, will you come see me in the kitchen, please? Sure, Mom, said Jennifer. She put down her book and walked into the kitchen. What is it, Mom? She asked. Your math grades, honey. They've dropped considerably this month. Who cares about math homework? Asked Jennifer. I want to be a detective, and detectives don't need to know any math. She tapped her pencil on the kitchen counter. Detectives need to know clues when they see them and put them together like a jigsaw puzzle. Dear, math has many clues. You start with a secret clue, an X or a Y, and you have to use your wits to detect what X or Y stands for. It's the same as solving a jigsaw puzzle or a mystery. I never thought of it that way, said Jennifer. It's like being a detective and solving a mystery, isn't it? Yes, said her mother. Jennifer started back to her bedroom. One more thing, dear, said her mother. You've seemed depressed lately. Before Jennifer could deny it, her mother said, is there anything we can do to cheer you up? There is one thing, said Jennifer. You could take me back to the museum to see the Mackey Silver collection. My pictures did not turn out very well. I don't want to go to that boring building, said Jake. I want to work on my karate. Then you don't have to go, you little brat, said Jennifer. Jennifer, don't talk to him that way, said her mother. I'm sorry, I take it back, she said half-heartedly. She sharpened a pencil and worked on 10 math problems until her mother called her for dinner. The conversation at the dinner table revolved around Mr. Adamson's frustrations at work and Mrs. Adamson's progress on her novel about a spy in Afghanistan. I'd like to be a spy, said Jennifer, after I'm a detective. I'll go with you, said Jake, and guard you in case the terrorists attack you. You'd call too much attention to me, said Jennifer. You'd walk around in your martial arts outfit and chop bricks in half. Everyone would know that you're my bodyguard. I would disguise myself, said Jake, as a Japanese fisherman. No one would notice me. Mr. Adamson roared with laughter. Sure, you'd chop up the bad guys and make mincemeat out of them, he said. Sure I would, said Jake. I earned my yellow belt last week, but by the time you're a spy, I'll be a black belt. Just one problem, said Mr. Adamson. When a terrorist has a machine gun, a karate kick won't stop him. It will if he gets too close to me, said Jake. I'll kick him in the jaw and stomp on his face. Eat your broccoli, said Mrs. Adamson. After I clean up from dinner, I'll work on my book. Maybe I'll put a karate fighter in my next chapter. Mrs. Adamson asked Jake. You can call me Dora, she said. Dora, when they make your book into a movie, can I star in it? I want to be a karate fighter in a movie. I have yet to finish the book, Jake. Who knows if it will become a movie? We'll have to wait and see. That's all you grown-ups ever say, said Jake. Wait and see. Wait and see. He pushed his plate back and ran into his room. What's the matter with him? Said Mr. Adamson. Let him go, said Mrs. Adamson. Jennifer got up and followed Jake to his room. He was sitting on the bed, pounding his fist into his baseball mitt. She sat with him a minute and said nothing. He kept pounding his fist into his mitt. Why don't you go away? He asked. Because I care about you, she said. Nobody cares about me, he said. That's not true. Your dad cares about you. My mom cares about you, and I care about you. He stopped pounding his mitt and looked at her. I never get to do anything I want to do. You get to do your martial arts, Jake. Other than martial arts. I don't get to be in a movie as a martial arts star. Jake, you can't wait for the grown-ups to make a movie. Most books that are written aren't even made into a movie. And what's the use? I'll never be in a movie then. You have to start small, Jake. One step at a time. I want you to be in my movie. Your movie? I didn't know you were making a movie. You don't have a camcorder. I plan to borrow my mom's. I'm going to make a movie about my detective story from start to finish, and I need your help. Can I star in it? That depends. You have to do some work on it besides starring in it. Nobody walks onto the set and becomes a star the first day. What do I have to do? He asked. I'll tell you, she said, and whispered in his ear.